and welcome. My name's Tiffany and I'm the International Witch. Join me today as I work on the April spread for my bullet journal. Everyone online has dedicated this month to the SAKURA blooms, and I get it, they're beautiful, but I'm kind of done with the pastels. So I looked around for some inspiration for this month and I saw poppies everywhere, specifically the corn poppy. There are 4 different groups of poppies: the opium poppy, California poppy, corn poppy, and the oriental poppy. Poppies are used magically in spells for ancestral offerings, death magic, dream magic, love spells, peace spells, and remembrance rituals. It's all around a major player in the metaphysical world. Medically, opium poppy seeds are used to produce codeine, opium, morphine, and heroin, so consuming them would lead to trouble with drug tests, which is why I would actually suggest not ingesting them if possible. I use them purely for metaphysical purposes. In Greek mythology, both Thanatos, the god of peaceful death, and Hypnos, the god of sleep, were depicted holding poppy flowers in their hands and adorning their heads. Hypnos was believed to bring prophetic dreams to those suffering from grief or sadness. Hypnos' son, Morpheus, god of dreams, is also depicted with poppies and lends his name to the drug morphine. In more recent stories, in The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy finds herself becoming drowsy and falls asleep in a field of poppies. In the movies, they replace this with the witch casting a spell on the fields, but in the books, it's purely the magic of the poppies themselves that put her to sleep. I've been feeling energetic and the need to get out and go do something, so I thought this quote from William Shakespeare just really summed up what I was feeling this month. And it's, "April, dressed in all its trim, hath put a spirit of youth in everything." During the search for Persephone, the gods gave Demeter a poppy to help her sleep, and it said that after that, poppies would follow wherever Demeter went. She even turned one of her lovers into a poppy after he passed away suddenly. And if you look at her depictions, you'll often see her with both wheat and poppies together. This story was their way of trying to explain why poppies would suddenly sprout up out of nowhere in their fields, but now we have a better understanding of poppies scientifically. Poppy seeds can remain dormant underground for years, and when you disturb the soil, you allow the sunlight to penetrate to the seeds, giving them exactly what they need to grow. So the poppies seem to pop out of nowhere, literally, when really they've been there all along. I tried to go with a more organic approach this time and less outlining, but you'll see towards the end that I actually don't like it, and I come back and try to add in more outlines, but the flowers still look kind of messy. So I have to pat myself on the back for trying something new, but I don't think I will be doing organic flowy stuff in the future. I will strictly stick to coloring within my outlines. You'll also have to excuse the lighting issues. It seems to go dark and then light, and that's because I'm using daylight outside and the sun kept going in and out of the clouds. I do have an interior light shining on my table, but I didn't realize until I'm editing this video just how much you can see the sunlight changing. So my apologies. I really wish I could get one of those professional light box setups, but unfortunately it's not even, a money issue, it's a space issue. I am running out. When we downsized from our 4-bedroom home into this condo in Italy, I had to put all of my craft supplies and everything in the living room, so I'm constantly having to clean up after myself and keep everything hidden and tucked away, and it's just so much hassle pulling out so many different light sources, and I don't even think I could put that light box in a closet. If any of you have any suggestions on something more small and compact that would give more of a daylight feel, leave me a comment or a link in the comments below, because I am starting to get very frustrated with my lighting. If you've ever been interested in learning more about the tarot cards, then hop on over to my blog at foxdencurio.com/blog. I've just started a deep dive on the major arcana tarot cards. But don't worry, I haven't gotten very far, so you haven't missed much. My inspiration for the colors and organic feel of this month's poppy theme is based on this cover from Truth Magazine's July edition in 1901 by artist William de Leftwich Dodge. Truth Magazine's actually kind of a sad story. Truth Magazine was owned and printed by the American Lithograph Company between 1899 and 1901. They used the magazine to show off how advanced their printing techniques were. Sadly, this cover was the magazine's peak, and they closed only 1 year after its publication. The watercolors that I'm using for the flowers is cadmium red and cadmium orange, both of which are from Windsor Newton. And for the darker spots, I am going in with a little bit of the Perylene maroon. I hope that's how you pronounce it. Perylene maroon, also from Windsor and Newton, but only a touch of that because it seems to go a little bit pink. And I'm literally just adding the colors at random and letting them blend together. Without the lines, they kind of look like a blob, but I think the colors turn out really pretty in the end. Sorry, but my battery died whenever I was doing the green centers to the poppies. That's why they just suddenly appear. But here I am going around all the drawings with a Micron number 2 pen, and it does help a lot in my opinion, but I really do wish that I had done more from the beginning. It's a little messy, but you live and you learn. Now I'm making one large circle in the middle for the seed pod, and then all the tiny little circles around it to represent the stamen, which is what makes a poppy look like it has a black center. I'm gonna fast forward ahead because this is really simple and it's boring to watch me do it for every single flower. And with the cover page done, on to the next page. The poppy is used as a symbol of remembrance for many different reasons. Remember the story that I said earlier about Demeter? How she turned her mortal lover who had passed away into a poppy. Not only does the poppy look and is reminiscent of blood, but if you cut a poppy and put it in a vase, it only lasts for 2 days, which is very short-lived, making this flower an apt analogy for a life cut too short. The poppy is also a returning theme during times of war because remember, the poppy seeds, once they've been disturbed, would grow from seemingly out of nowhere. Those soldiers who participated in wars would also be familiar with the poppy because artillery shells and shrapnel would break apart the soil and expose these seeds to sunlight, so they would be surrounded by poppies during a bloody war. In 1966, after the World War II ended in Italy, Fabrizio De André wrote a song called La Guerra di Piero, and in it he says, "You sleep buried in a wheat field. It's not the rose, it's not the tulip, watching you from the shadow of ditches, but it's 1,000 red poppies." The poppies that we wear today in remembrance of fallen soldiers is actually due to a poem entitled Flanders Field by John McCrae. McCrae was a Canadian physician lieutenant colonel, and he wrote this poem not only about the harshness of war, but about his friend as he officiated at the funeral and noticed poppies growing near the new dug graves. The poem states, "In Flanders Field the poppies blow, between the crosses row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the larks still bravely singing fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunsets glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Field. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from falling hands we throw the torch, be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders Field." Moina Michael was an American working at the YMCA Overseas War Secretary's office when she read McCrae's poem. She was so touched, she vowed to wear poppies in remembrance. She went out and bought silk poppies for herself and all of her colleagues to wear, and petitioned to have the poppy formally adopted as the symbol of national remembrance. And she succeeded. To this very day, we wear the poppy on Memorial Day and Remembrance Day in the honor of the fallen soldier. Okay, that's enough depressing stories for now. On to the actual bullet journal. The flowers that I'm currently painting at the bottom are actually not poppies. I think they're monkey flowers. They're supposed to be yellow, but I wanted some more of this gorgeous red, so I changed the colors. I thought the top was looking a little empty and unbalanced, so I thought I would add some of the leaves in, but unfortunately poppies have those like really spindly leaves that I suck at so bad. So try not to laugh. I mean, I'm laughing at them obviously, but hey, I tried. I wanted this to look like an old torn up page, and I love the way it came out. And some final touches with my Micron pen, and I'm done with this side. Well, done for now. I'll come back to it in a minute and you'll see. Now this month I've decided to change up the way I do my weeklies. I found that I wasn't actually using all of the space that I was giving myself, and so it was a waste of paper. I've seen a couple of people who do just the straight bullet layout, which you'll see what I mean in just a moment. And I actually think this is going to work more for me and for my lifestyle because I use my phone's calendar for a lot of details and I don't necessarily write them down in my journal. What do you think? Tell me down below if you prefer last month's weekly setup or this one page setup. The image that I'm currently drawing is based off of the artwork entitled California Poppy by Elizabeth M. Hallowell. She actually does a lot of beautiful herbal and botanical images. And here's where I go back to the other page. I thought about adding the habit tracker after I was done because I normally don't fill those out on camera. But I was wondering if you guys would like me to upload my monthly spreads so you can print them out and maybe use them at home. I wasn't sure if you would be interested in that. Leave me a comment below if you'd like to see that. I always do freebies on my website. And here's what I meant when I said a bullet style. This is all the days 1 through 30 just in a row, and I put the letter of the days next to them so I wouldn't get them confused. But I like this more at a glance calendar for my way of using my bullet journal. And I'm done. Now it's time for the final walkthrough. Out of all the things that poppies stand for and can be used for in witchcraft, I really think that dreams, sleep, and remembrance are the most powerful, as we've discussed today. Between old religions and new traditions, these themes keep popping up everywhere you look with the poppy. I hope that you enjoyed following along with me, and if you have any comments, leave them below for me. That would mean the world to me for my viewer engagement. If you've made it this far in the video, would you consider hitting that like and subscribe button so you can see more of this kind of witchy content? As always, I love you so much. Bye!